Network, thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. The one place you know we're going to keep it 100. We're going to give you the authentic Star Wars opinions, whether you agree with them or not, because the things that come out of our mouth is what we actually believe, not what we want anybody, or not what we think or perceive anybody, to want us to say. We're actually going to say what we actually think. And boy, we'll be called the names too. Man, my eyebrows are... Ooh, Coach looking rough, y'all. Coach looking rough. But hey, got my brand new X-Men t-shirt, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. This is X-Men 92. X-Men 92. And here's what you got to know. Here's what you got to know, okay? This is for you. Flop. 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 Not really. Not really. Pretty dang good, if you ask me. Anyways, what is up, everybody? Great to see you. Real quick roll call. We got Mr. Cringe, Stephen Logsdon, Everscale, Shrike 1988, James Cocker, James T. Clement Film, Graf Webb, Jedi Master Lawrence, Aaron Ratliff, Venger, Matt Rissman, Debbie Young, Bright Space Babe, Matthew Gaudet, Mark Cohen, Alan Copeland, Rogue Sarge, The White Snake, Share Bear, Cycleman 90, Aurora Uplinks, T-Rex 007. Don't ever mess with somebody named T-Rex 007. That man sounds dangerous. Just want to throw that out there. Dan Grissom, Adam, Ronald L., Lombardi 1969, Mary Lanning, Davish, Jotunhammer, Leia Rose, Angelina Serini, Green Lantern 345, Star Wars Dog. Good to see you, bro. Star Wars Mom is in the house. Papa Palpatine's Pizza Padawan and Skywalker. Anybody else that I missed? Welcome to Echo Base Network. We got Nick here. We've got Rissman here. The DA will be joining us here momentarily. Tonight's agenda, as always, we discuss the highs and the lows. Things are crazy right now. We're going to go through it, talking a little bit about, we're going to start with a quick one, a little Star Wars gaming update, very, very quick, and then we're going to get into the good stuff. The Leslye Headland hopes the Force is with the Acolyte. Kathleen Kennedy says a lot of women in Star Wars struggle with fan attacks because of the fan base being so male-dominated and toxic. Got a message today from someone who sits on the other side of the fence with Star Wars content creator. Got a DM from him. I'm going to share that with you. Not that there's drama. This is somebody that I've had many back and forth with. We disagree on a lot of things, but he sent me a message, and I think it's a good one for discussion. The Acolyte budget, how it doesn't make any sense, coming in at $180 million. Watch The Mystery of the Acolyte unfold in select theaters June the 3rd. We're going to look at that. Little promo deal that they did today. Was it a promo or was it trying to put out a fire? I don't know. The Acolyte Star Wars Conversations. It wasn't much of a conversation, by the way. The Acolyte exclusive featurette titled Across Generations. George Lucas has rejected Star Wars critics who thinks the films are all white men. George Lucas also says the ideas of the originals have been lost. He's the only one that knows Star Wars. Daisy Ridley is still yet to read a script for the movie that's not happening. Let's see. And a little update for Andor Season 2. And then somebody wanted to talk about Mad Max, even though ain't nobody watching it. But we're gonna look at that too. So anyways, without further ado, let me go ahead and bring in everybody. Here we go. I'm bringing him in. It don't even matter. I'm bringing him in.
It literally was right there, and I knew it was going to happen.
I ain't waiting. So anyway, hey, there he is. Hey, man, what's up? Nice to see you. Yeah, you're live. Yeah. Summertime. You don't call. You don't write.
I just got back home yesterday.
I saw you on Mr. 8 stream today.
Yeah, I just got back yesterday.
Okay.
I was on Doomcock stream last night, but I was late to that because I had a bunch of work I had to do. Right. Not to get political, but Trump 2024 freaking sham trial. All right,
gosh.
Let's continue.
Yeah. All right. Hello, sir. Nice to see you as well. Valiant in the house. He called me the other day. I felt like somebody. All right. So, look. Happy Real Star Wars Day. Let's start with that. May 25th, 1977 is when the original film debuted. Lucasfilm, Disney, Star Wars, they don't celebrate the actual day. It's the May the 4th, celebratory. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It just sounds good. But the actual anniversary is May the 25th. A lot has happened this week, gentlemen, for a May the 25th, 47th anniversary of Star Wars. 47. Star Wars turned 47 this week. And not only did George Lucas come out and say some of the things that he said, Leslye Headland and Kathleen Kennedy have also poked their heads out of the sand and said some things. And this stuff is getting crazy. So happy actual real Star Wars Day to everybody. If you're a Star Wars gamer, or if you're a gamer who happens to like the Total War series, it's a war strategy game where you get to control thousands upon thousands of military and get to be all tactical and go on the battlefield and fight. It's not a first person anything. It's a top down view. You're going to war. Well, there's a rumor that Star Wars is coming out Total War is coming out with a Star Wars edition, which I think sounds pretty dang cool. That's what Star Wars is all about from a certain point of view. So I thought that was pretty neat there. And I don't have everything pulled up and ready, but there's not really much to say or talk about that. Total War Star Wars game reportedly in the works at Creative Assembly. So we'll keep our eyes on that, and we'll keep you guys updated as far as that goes. We kind of wanted to start with the hot topics today. We wanted to start with the things that are everybody's talking about. I did a video last night about this stuff. Oh man, all this stuff is. You know what? Okay, here we go. Let's just. Dang it. Sorry. There we go. I wasn't ready. All right. So the New York Times article, Rissman got it for us and put it in the drive. Leslye Headland hopes the Force is with the Acolyte. Before we get into that, we got to clear these super chats. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we can get started with those if you want.
Thank you guys for sending those in. James Cocker, member for 37 months, going to be at work when this starts, so have a good one. Also, that's over 3 years I've been a part of this community. How crazy. Where's time gone? Here's to many more years, EBN. Thank you, James. We appreciate it very much.
Good to see James.
Thank you, brother. Aurora Uplinks has been a member for 14 months. I think Disney been a member longer than that. I think Disney will be putting out amazing new Star Wars events at parks, and Mando Grogu is the beginning. Lucas and Iger together for shareholders, fans. Maybe that would be nice if they did. It's I like the positivity there. So the parks are probably going to be better than maybe what we're getting on screen, but we'll see. But thank you, Aurora, for sending that in. Rogue Sarge with a big $20 super chat. Good evening, EBN. Let's have another great stream tonight. Thank you, Bobby. We appreciate it very much, man. Looking forward to hanging out with you at Icon. Let's see. Graph Webb with a $2 super chat. Hashtag cancel Disney Plus. The most consistent man on YouTube. A lot of people are canceling it. A lot of people are not watching The Acolyte on Disney Plus.
Yeah, they'll be watching our reviews.
Yes. They will be watching our reviews.
And we'll be putting it on Patreon, right?
Yeah. We will be putting it on Patreon, the whole thing, for sure.
Yep. If you guys want to watch the full episodes and watch us react to them in full, no edits or anything, join our Patreon. $5 a month. That's all it is, guys. And don't forget, you can get your hashtag Cancel Disney Plus shirt on our merch page.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
If that shirt's still there.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. You never know.
It's coming back. It keeps coming back.
Somehow the shirt returned.
Somehow the whole merch store returned.
That's right. Jedi Master Lawrence has gifted 10 EBN memberships. So welcome to all of our new members. If you got one of those memberships, please thank Jedi Master Lawrence in the chat. Members, let's throw up those emojis. Show them what you got. Thank you very much, guys. Jedi Master Lawrence also with a $3 super chat. Has anyone watched the 4-hour review of the Star Wars Hotel? I have not.
I have not. I saw Drunk 3PO did a full react, like a 7-hour stream react.
Well, of course he did. He built his channel around that.
Yeah. I already know the hotel's trash. I don't need to watch a 4-hour review of how bad it actually is.
I have no interest.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's great. But I'd rather go outside and watch two frogs making love than watch anything about the Star Wars hotel that failed. I don't care. That ship has sailed. I'm done. So, but anyways, but thank you, Jedi Master Lawrence. Ted's Nerd World with a 99-cent super sticker. He sent me a piece of poop. Thank you, Ted. I'm the stuff. That's what you're saying.
Always.
I got it. I got it. Valiant Renegade. Oh, go ahead.
Super chat this, Rissman.
No, it's super chat this, Rissman.
I know.
Thank you, VR. That is awesome. Yeah. Brandon, the anime guy, has rejoined his EBN family. Thank you, brother. Brandon. And then he sent in a $5 super chat. Yeah, I'm saving my brain for that brain rot called the Acolyte. Hashtag Trump 2024. Coach Nick, duct tape your head before you expose your brain to it.
I'm going to have I should wear a helmet the whole time we watch it. I should just so I don't like fall over and bang my head and knock myself out from laughing or seeing something so cringe and dumb,
Oh, I mean, I have no hope anyways, the trailer that they did a few weeks ago, they didn't show any of the stuff that would set us off. But man, after this week, after the comments and the things that have been said, I guess I'm just ready to fight.
Yeah.
Sound Surgeon, he says, I'm officially canceling Disney Plus and won't be going back unless KK Star Wars Universe is completely scraped as junk. But until then, apparently, according to KK, I'm to blame for all her cluster effery.
Yeah. Hashtag blame all men.
That's exactly.
That's where we're at.
That's what we're getting into. Thank you very much, Sound Surgeon, for that. By the way, we don't just read the super chats, guys. Thank you all for being here and engaging and chatting it up. So one of the three of us is keeping our eyes on the chat at all times. I promise you that. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, and there was actually one that I was just scrolling back up.
You should always star something you like, so we could go back to it.
That's right. I'll find it.
Okay. All right. So looking at this article, this is the article that everybody didn't get to see. Other places reported on it. Variety came out with an article, right, Rissman? And everybody was reporting on that one because this one was behind a paywall, and Rissman jumped through a few little hoops for us and got us the full-blown thing. So there's the picture of Leslye in the New York Times, Nick. I know that you want to see that.
Leslye forehead.
So look, it is not terribly long, but you're going to want to hear some of this. And Nick, Rissman, if you want to stop me, just say, hold it there, pause, whatever, and jump in. Okay. But let's take a look at this. Leslye Headland has been telling Star Wars stories on screen since she was a teenager.
What?
Ostracized at school for being different, she retreated inward, making stop-motion films starring her action figures. Well, I'll never do that again.
Yeah, that was time-consuming.
Yeah. Well, I'll never do it now that I found out she did it.
Yeah.
I bet mine are better than yours, Leslye.
They sure are funny.
Mine had Sergeant Slaughter ripping people's arms off.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways. So when she found success as an adult in Hollywood, Headland helped create Russian Doll. And a chance... Oh, it was the realization of a lifelong dream being in Star Wars and a chance for humiliating failure on a galactic scale. She says, I essentially cold called Lucasfilm and, after a lot of conversations, found myself pitching a show, utterly elated. My ultimate career goal, the culmination of my fandom, says Leslye Headland. At the same time, I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared. There is so much pressure, it's extreme. I have never done anything this big before. Headland's show, The Acolyte, will debut on Disney Plus on June the 4th. That's in 5 days, guys. 5 nights from now, Nick will be here reviewing it and watching it. I will be at the beach.
Shame on you.
Hey, family first, dog. Let's see. The show cost roughly $180 million for its 8 episodes, and some of those episodes are pretty short, we're being told, right, Rissman?
I think they're averaging 30 to 35 minutes of content, but yes, some shorter, some longer.
Wow, 180 mil. And taking 4 years to make it. It's been a while. I remember when people said, this is a smokescreen. This isn't happening.
This is a real.
Yeah. Little birds and crap.
Tweeting about it.
I'm not talking about Varys on
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, his little birds. No, we're talking never mind. And taking 4 years to make it, it attempts 2 feats at once, pleasing old school Star Wars fans. Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
Because they kind of took a shot at us yesterday.
Yeah, highly doubt that.
Who can seem unpleasable.
Taking a shot right there.
We're very pleasable.
While telling an entirely new story, one that requires no prior knowledge of Star Wars and that showcases women and people of color.
There it is right there. Showcases women and people of color. That's the agenda they're pushing. That's what it's all about. It's not about the story or the characters. It's about showcasing women and people of color.
Well, that's what's going to be most important. I mean,
but they're not representing little people. I don't see no little people in this. I don't see any handicapped people in this. You know, where's their representation, Disney?
No.
Leaving them out.
No. Let's see. For the faithful, the Acolyte serves up scads of Jedi, a franchise fundamental that the other live-action Star Wars TV shows have depicted sparingly or not at all. The opening scene in The Acolyte takes place in an eatery crowded with colorful aliens, a callback to the Mos Eisley Cantina from the first Star Wars movie in 77 that just turned 47 this week. Let's go ahead and bring him in. We're going to put him right in the fire. Hey, brother.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
We're going through this. We just started this New York Times article, like the full thing with Headland.
Okay.
So it says, other shout-outs to core fans, we see you. We haven't forgotten about you, are sprinkled into the dialogue. May the Force be with you. And I have a bad feeling about this makes an early appearance. So they are kind of placating. Jingle the keys. Yeah, there you go. At the same time, here we go. The Acolyte embraces what some people call new Star Wars.
It's called Disney Star Wars, not new
an
Star Wars.
era defined by diversity and expansion beyond the Skywalker saga, which started with Disney's purchase of the franchise in 2012. Amanda Stenberg stars as a dreadlocked warrior who has a complicated relationship with a Jedi Master, played by Ling Jung-jae from Squid Game, in his first English-speaking role. Jodie Turner-Smith plays the lesbian leader of a regal coven of witches.
Wow, so she's official lesbian character in Star Wars.
That's official. That Park Place hit it today.
Wow.
That's official.
Nice representation, guys. That's what we want in our Star Wars.
She is
representation.
A lesbian leader of a coven of witches. I mean, if you're going to have a lesbian in the story, she might as well be a witch, right?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
All
wow.
Right. I wonder how the lesbians feel about that. Can't she be good?
They're happy for the representation period, man. They probably love it. They'll love it. Yeah. Don't worry. They'll be fine.
And also, she's not necessarily a bad witch. She's just a witch.
All witches are bad, Rissman. There ain't no good witch.
Glinda will disagree with you. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Do we have to go back to basics?
Wow,
Coach?
man.
Oh, God. Here we go again with this blur the lines between good and evil.
Yeah.
Back in my day, witches were bad. I mean,
by the way, just as an aside, I was watching a morbid fascination. I've been watching Acolyte interviews all day today. And the guy who said that, the actor who said that, in one of the interviews, he's like, oh my God, he said, I got such hell for that at Lucas. I should never have said that. I've gotten such flack.
Never said what?
That.
What are you talking about?
The whole, we're blurring the lines. There's no such thing as good and evil. That actor, apparently that actor.
But that's what it is, man. He's telling the truth, and it's trash.
Yep.
That's exactly what they're doing. They don't want good versus evil, and that's the problem, because that's George Lucas's vision, and they're getting away from that.
But why'd they get mad at him, DA? Because that's holding up a target. He made himself an easy target for us.
Well, and so then he tried to clarify it and said, oh, he's one of the best Jedi. He believes in the Jedi, but he finds himself in a situation where it's hard to do the right thing. Right. Mm-hmm. So this is so they've obviously given him talking points now, because he brought up that clarification quite overtly, because it wasn't even asked. Right. He was like, wait a minute, I can't tell you how much trouble I got into and blah, blah. And I just had to chuckle. I was like, so they do pay attention when they want to.
Yeah. And the thing is, the comment Coach pulled up from Yoda fan on how none of us have seen the show, but we already know how bad it is because of all this forced agenda, all the stuff that they're literally admitting in this article. And you cannot think of one project, one show where this has been attempted and done where it was good. Not one. Yep. Freaking Woke Wings of Power. It's trash. Second season is already getting trashed on. It's getting downvoted to hell and back. This show, same thing. Anytime Hollywood tries to go out there and force this diversity agenda crap, It never works out, and it's never good. You guys think of a show where they've done it and it's been good?
No,
I can't.
I can't.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't happen because real people are like it just doesn't fit with the way people want their storytelling done. Nobody wants to be preached to or pandered to.
No.
Nobody wants that in storytelling. We want to see the story, the characters, and we want to see an interesting universe. We're not here for diversity. We're not here for representation. Represent my, I was saying this on my video, represent my values, the things that I value through whatever characters you want. But that's what I care about. I care about what I value. I could care less about what your gender is or what your skin color is. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, but it matters to them because these are the most shallow people you will ever meet in your entire life. These people have no depth whatsoever. They are their skin color. They are their diversity and nothing else. Okay, so that's why they keep giving us this garbage because they don't know anything better. They have nothing else. All right. But they own the franchise. So it's like, okay, well, we got control of the franchise. What are we going to do with it? Well, what we're going to do with it is we're just going to run it into the ground with our crap because we don't know any better. I don't understand why these people get hired, why these people get jobs, why they get to, take over a franchise. I thought it was just so telling also that Kathleen Kennedy admits that Star Wars is a male-dominated franchise. And then the first thing she does is she comes out and she shits on the men. It's like, what are you doing, chick? Like, if it's a male-dominated franchise, why are you coming out here speaking down to the men and saying that it's the men's fault? You should be trying to say, hey, we love our men fans. We're love these guys. And we want these guys to come in and rock with us and support us. And we promise we're going to give you the best Star Wars you've ever heard of. But no, we're going to come out here. We're going to disrespect the fan base. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
I have to say, Coach, there is a very interesting quote in this New York Times article talking
We're going to get there. Yeah.
Talking about Leslye and the story, and then what Kathy responds to Leslye about the story she wrote. It's very on point to what Derek was.
Some of y'all are saying stuff that we're not quite there yet on the article, but we're headed there. For sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to go off in another direction. Just one more quick comment. Listen to what DA was just saying. These people are like Thanos. When Thanos in the MCU was doing what he was doing, he felt like what he was doing was good. It was good. These people, what they think they're doing is good.
Yeah.
And it's not,
Yeah, because they're not, their primary focus is not to continue what George Lucas created.
Yeah, and we need to be Iron Man and snap them out of existence.
That's not the primary focus here. But so look, let's continue the article here, and we see super chats and member chats coming in. We'll hit all those in a timely fashion. Rissman, keep your eyes on those as well.
I got it.
But let's see, Jodie Turner-Smith play. Oh, and by the way, be on guard because I just changed the title of the show to "The Acolyte DEI includes a lesbian character who leads a witch coven."
Oh,
so,
I see you did do that, didn't you?
Be ready, boys. They coming, pitchforks and all. But I'm feeling back to normal, so I'll just blow them kisses. It's all good.
No, we do, Coach. Do they float like the small rock? Okay, I'm taking us. Taking us.
All right. So here we go. This paragraph's so juicy. Let's start it over. Amanda Stenberg stars as a dreadlocked warrior who has complicated relationship with a Jedi Master played by Lee Jung-jae. Jodie Turner-Smith plays the lesbian leader of a regal coven of witches. That's all Filoni right there. While the Filipino-Canadian actor Manny Jacinto appears as a shadowy traitor in one of her most action-oriented roles since The Matrix. Carrie-Anne Moss plays a steely Jedi named Master Indara. She'll be dead at the end of the first episode. The Acolyte also breaks new ground behind the camera. While women have directed episodes of shows like The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan Kenobi, Headland 43 is the first to create a Star Wars series.
And it will go down as the worst series of all time, probably.
Probably so. It was like working on a razor's edge, says Headland. You're thinking, this is what people want from Star Wars. This is what people don't want. It can mess with your head. So basically she's saying right there, she's trying to please people. Who that is, I don't know, but
not us.
She says, during the creative process, I had to give myself the forgiveness as an artist to fall off the razor as long as I got back up. That was my promise to myself. Whatever that means.
Yeah.
That's just non-speak.
salad.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But I just have to say, when you fall off a razor's edge, don't you get cut? Right? I don't even understand the analogy. I don't even understand the analogy.
I don't either.
She's an idiot.
From the second that any new Star Wars project comes into public view, Disney announced the Acolyte in 2020. Fans claw for information and pick apart what they find. It's part of what makes Star Wars so powerful. People care, but the attention also creates problems. Here we go. Rumors can solidify into facts. Some Star Wars obsessives, for instance, have worried that Headland's show breaks canon or tinkers with already established storylines in the franchise. The ultimate Star Wars crime, it does not, says the New York Times. In fact, Headland chose to place the Acolyte at the very beginning of the Star Wars timeline so canonical issues would be minimal. The show is a mystery thriller. Someone is killing Jedi. Should be Jedi. Someone
Jedi.
is killing
Never
Jedi
No.
set at a time when the Jedi are at their peak, the pre-Phantom Menace era that has been explored in Star Wars novels but never on screen. The only character in the Acolyte that previously existed anywhere in the franchise is a Jedi Master from novels named Vernesta Rowe. Headland cast her wife, Rebecca Henderson, in the role, giving her a lightsaber that can transform into a whip. I bet they use that whip in the... Never mind.
Yeah.
Leslye wanted this... So let's stop right there. We're going to continue because there's so much juicy stuff here. What do you guys think about... Hey, I don't want to break canon. I don't want those Star Wars people coming after me. Let's go back to the very beginning so I could do whatever I want. DA, wouldn't you say that's kind of lazy?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's lazy, but I think there's more to it than that, because I've been saying, I think what they want is for the Acolyte to now set the tone for what Star Wars is, because now it's going to be literally the very first thing in the Star Wars canon. It's going to be before anything else. So now you're going to be forced in a way to view all of Star Wars in light of whatever it is they're going to point out in the Acolyte. You're going to have to see it through the lens of the Acolyte because it's the first thing. It sets like the table for the rest of the franchise in a sense. And so I think that's the reason why they did that. So they can kind of say, okay, well, you got to look at the Jedi like this. You got to look at the Jedi based on how we're presenting the Jedi in the Acolyte. You can't, you got to start there because that's the beginning. And that's the first thing that they're telling in terms of a story. So I think that's the main reason why they did that. So that way, it's not that so they don't break canon, but they can change canon. They can set canon to what they want it to be. Away from George. We've already seen it. They're already talking about we're getting away from George Lucas's vision. It's not about the Force. Again, we've already talked about this, how the Force, they're saying, well, the balance of the Force is, equal sides, good and bad and all that crap. And they've already said that that's where they're going with it, instead of saying, no, the balance of the Force is when you eliminate darkness. Okay. Yeah. When the dark side has been eliminated and extinguished, that's when the Force is in balance. That's right. They're already going away from that. So they're going to try to rewrite canon.
They don't even know that, DA. They don't even know.
No, I know they don't. I know they don't, because they're not Star Wars fans. They don't care about this stuff. Yeah. All right? These are things that Star Wars fans care about.
Well, and the other thing about it that I think I knew and forgotten and was reminded of in something I read is Leslye Headland pitched this initially so long ago. The High Republic wasn't even a thing. Right, she pitched a pre-Phantom Menace story where she wanted to explore exactly what Derek was just talking about. She wanted to explore different facets of the Jedi and things that would have been going on, and how did their decline start on their way to the Phantom Menace, and what kind of because she had ideas about that. And then one thing leads to another, and they're like, well, we're actually working on this thing called the High Republic. Let's put all of this together and figure out what we can do with it. And then this one character with the whip, Vernesta Rowe, is actually the only character from the High Republic that we've actually seen named and was in the literature and all that. And that's sort of how they're tying some of this together. But this story she pitched was a standalone story that's kind of morphed a bit over time.
Well, so the thing continues. We know, Nick, were you going to say anything about that?
Yeah, real quick. As far as canon breaking goes, just listen to this quick clip here.
We can't hear
The
it.
audio's not
Can't hear
shared.
it.
Oh. Stupid.
I do that all the time.
All the time.
Okay. Here we go. Try this again.
The Sith Lord.
Impossible. The Sith have been extinct for a millennium.
I do not believe this.
They've been extinct for a millennium. This takes place 100 years before this movie. But but the Jedi Council knows nothing of this. Yoda was still alive.
Yep.
He was training Jedi at the time, but he doesn't know anything about the Sith that popped up 100 years prior to this in the Acolyte.
They're going to use the sidelong glance that Yoda just gave to Mace, the little, like they're in cahoots on keeping a secret. Yoda was a secret keeper, right? They're gonna lean, if any of these Jedi survive. None of these Jedi might survive, right? But if any of these Jedi survive, and or if the Sith survive,
and or
they'll lean into Yoda's line. Yoda covered it up.
Well, if anybody knows everything about Yoda, it's Rissman. So, all right.
You know he's my favorite.
Oh yeah, no.
Just remember that they're going to use a certain point of view. You know, they're going to use that kind of stuff, you know, to explain away any inconsistencies or any, you know, thing that, you know, is not lined up perfectly. That's what Lucasfilm has been doing lately. They just kind of, oh, well, you know, you got to look at it this way, you know, and then, okay, that explains it all.
Also, Leslye has said now in 2 or 3 different interviews, Yoda was off the table. I couldn't use Yoda. Wouldn't it have been great if I could use Yoda? You're not going to see Yoda running around. I'm like, if you tell me one more time you didn't do anything with Yoda, I'm going to expect him to pop up in the interview, right? I mean, it's like, how many more times are you going to deny it? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guarantee you he's going to show up, make a something. He's going to be in there some way.
Or his boyfriend.
Yeah.
They'll probably pull a Yaddle. They'll pull a Yaddle. So Yoda's not in it, but Yaddle's in it. The female Yoda will be in it.
Yeah.
Would that surprise anyone?
Nope.
If Yaddle makes an appearance?
Not at all.
No. Leading a coven of lesbians. Here we go.
No.
All right. So Leslye wanted this show to be accessible, no homework needed before watching, said Jocelyn Bio, the Ghanaian American writer. This is the person that she asked, or she was interviewing to be one of the writers. She asked me what I knew about Star Wars, and my answer was Harrison Ford runs around space with a giant dog. And Leslye said, "You're hired." Now, we covered that, Nick, back when it happened, when it hit the news that Leslye Headland was actively seeking people who knew nothing about Star Wars to hire.
Yeah. That's like saying, you know, needing somebody to come, you know, remodel a room in your house, and you go to your mechanic and say, "What do you know about remodeling rooms in houses?" "Well, I can change out your alternator." "You're hired." What? Like, who does that? Man. It's so dumb. It makes no sense. How do you expect the fan base to respect what you're going to do when you bring people in that don't even know the material?
That's the problem, is that they're so, like, I guess what they're trying to do is say, hey, we're going to write Star Wars for new fans. We're going to try to bring in a new audience, and we really don't care about the guys and the people that have been, you know, our audience for I don't know how many years, you know, 40 plus years. You've had an audience of fans that have been loyal and dedicated to this franchise. And now, since we don't want to do what those guys want, well, what else can we do with this franchise? Let's bring in new, fresh ideas, people that don't know anything about what's been going on here for the last 40 years. Let's bring those people in, and let's see what they got and what they can write. But the reality is that, go ahead, man.
I think those original fans are known as the primordial fans.
Primordial fans. Yeah, that's exactly it. All right. The fans that have built Star Wars into what Star Wars is. Think about this. Think about how many franchises, and I mean, you could probably count them on one hand, that have never achieved what Star Wars as a franchise has achieved. All right. Think about how many franchises have never been. This is like the biggest franchise ever. You would think, okay, all we got to do is just follow the bouncing ball, just paint by numbers, just follow what George did. All right, for the last 40 years, George has given a franchise that people were just in love with. And even though we had problems here and there, for the most part, everybody was cool. So just keep doing that. But instead of doing that, we want to take it into a completely different direction and destroy it. And then we're going to blame the fans for that. You know, we're going to blame the men, the male. Yeah, I'm stunned at how stupid these people are. I just don't understand it, man.
They love to bring up the prequels and say, you guys are the people that drove George Lucas off. Look, even if I, didn't love the prequels when they came out,
I hated them.
I have a love-hate relationship with them. I really do.
Yeah.
It's never been this bad. George Lucas, not even close.
Not even close.
I never
not
hated
even
the prequels
close.
as much as I hate Disney Star Wars.
No, it's not even close.
Because it was still, there was still the heart of Star Wars. I don't know what they're doing right now. I don't know what Disney Star Wars is. Again, it's all just basically DEI. We have to make sure everybody feels represented. We have to make sure that everybody, has a voice or a seat at the table, but it's not Star Wars. It's not the stories that we grew up loving. So I'm not sure what they're doing here. And for every time they say, we got to make sure that we're bringing in new voices and this and that. But it's like, you got to do what Star Wars fans expect. And there was a thing that George Lucas did, and he tapped into the cultural zeitgeist of the moment. And that lasted not just 10 years, not just 20 years, not just 30 years. It lasted over 40 years of people being excited and pumped. And they can't wait for the next Star Wars thing to come out, where there's books, video games, action figures. It doesn't matter. We pumped up all kinds of money and love and energy into this franchise. And it's like they don't get it. They don't understand why we love Star Wars. They don't want to research it. They don't want to talk to us. They don't want to see what fans are liking about it. They're just going to run off and do their own thing. So let's bring in a writer that has no clue what Star Wars is about. Never read it before, thinks it's about, Han Solo running through space with a dog. That's what they think Star Wars is. Yep. And so this is the person you're bringing in. And it's not going to work for Star Wars fans. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's just not.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Nick.
So back in 1996,
I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back.
Sure. George Lucas, John Wagner, and Steve Perry wrote a Star Wars story that fans absolutely loved. It's a little story called Shadows of the Empire.
Steve Perry from Journey?
No, no, another Steve Perry, a book writer. Those guys, John and Steve, were huge Star Wars fans. They worked with George on the story. And, if you bring people in that understand and know Star Wars, I'm telling you right now, Derek, Rissman, and Coach could write better Star Wars stories right now than what Disney's given us, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. And we're not even writers.
No.
And we could come up with better ideas. The thing is, this is what happens when you corporatize a franchise like Star Wars. You get all these people involved that they bring their friends in, their Harvard graduate buddies and their friends, and it just doesn't work, and we're seeing it happen right before our very eyes.
Well, the New York Times,
it's agenda for these guys. That's what it is. It's about the agenda. It's about pushing their message. They want to use Star Wars as a vehicle to promote their message. So with all of the little gender studies nonsense or race study and all that stuff that they learned in college, they want to try to find a way to monetize it, because you can't get jobs in the real world doing gender study shit, doing race study shit. You can't find a job in the real world like that, but we can find it in Hollywood if we can convince these people to hand over these giant franchises to us, which somehow they did, and now here we are. Okay, now we are. Star Wars is destroyed. Marvel is destroyed. Everything is just burning up in fire. It's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, Mad Max Furiosa. They turned it into this last movie into a chick film. And how did it pan out?
Exactly.
I was talking about this on Mr. H review stream today. It's like saying we're gonna do. It's like all of us taking the Notebook 2. We're gonna make the Notebook 2. But in this version of the film, his girlfriend gets kidnapped by terrorists, and then he goes in with rocket launchers, machine guns, starts blowing shit up everywhere, gets the Air Force involved, they're dropping bombs, A-10s, you know, all this stuff, people getting killed, you know.
Right.
What girl is going to show up to watch the sequel to The Notebook if that's where it's going, you know?
Exactly.
And you got all these elite commando guys going in to help out. Like, no.
Now look, I'm gonna watch that. I'd go and watch that, but the target audience ain't.
Yeah.
The target audience.
And they think that they can do that with these male-dominated franchises, and it just doesn't work. Women who like these franchises don't like them because they're getting representation out of them.
Yeah. And look, the black guy on the panel, black people that like these franchises don't like them because we feel represented. All right. Yeah. You know who my favorite character was? It was Yoda. Okay. My favorite character still is Yoda. Okay. That's my favorite character. I don't feel represented by Yoda. Okay. I don't feel like Yoda represents me in terms of skin color or size or anything like that. What Yoda represented is, you know, his belief in the Force, you know, like that great dialogue that he gave to Luke. All right. Size matters not. All right. And that whole line, that's what attracted me to Yoda. All right. His wisdom, his intelligence. And he was just a little guy. You would think, oh man, remember, even Luke was looking for some, you know, giant Jedi master. He was looking for some amazing master. And he gets this little, you know, green elf. And he's like, what? You're Yoda? But that was like something about that character tapped into me when I was this little 7-8-year-old kid. And I've loved his character ever since. All right. And it had nothing to do with representation other than he's representing something about me that maybe at that age I wasn't tapped into it. I think it was like the fact that he was just a little guy and he was unassuming. All right. He was unassuming and you never would have thought that he was some sort of a great Jedi master if you just saw him. But it was something about that character that it just rocked with me. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, this is my guy. But Disney thinks that you have to rock with things because, oh, my skin is a certain color, or I'm a woman, or I'm a LGBTQ, blah, 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 blah. And it's like nothing of the sort is what people really relate to. People relate to things on a human level, Disney. Sure. Humanity, okay? What makes us all human and what we can all relate to. And like you said, you could be a man, a woman, a child, and you could all find something that you can relate to in Star Wars. And it has nothing to do with your gender. It has nothing to do with your skin color. It has nothing to do with any of that. And they don't understand that, which is why this shit is failing on its face. All right. This is why Disney Star Wars is an absolute joke.
No. Well said. Amen.
And notice, Coach, I didn't have one Yoda comment to make.
No Yoda comment. DA, I would have thought that the guy running through Bespin with the ice cream maker would have been your guy.
No, not him, man.
All right. So you know what? Let's hit these super chats real quick. Let's do that. Donna Hergenrether gifted 10 Echo Base Network memberships. So wow, that is 26 new members tonight. Donna, thank you so much. The lovely Donna. We appreciate you, girl. Felix Kiros, 5 Echo Base Network memberships. Man, thank y'all, Felix. Y'all are awesome, man. Y'all really are. You know, by the way, while we're highlighting these member chats and everything, you know, we are going to be doing pop-ins. Our show will be shorter on this end of it because we're going to open up pop-ins, and you know, we anticipate doing that, you know, throughout the Acolyte. So you'll be able to come. We can talk it. It's basically going to be a counseling session, I believe. We're all going to need therapy, so it'll be good.
Big, huge therapy session.
Mm-hmm. The Silver Ranger with a $5 super chat. Last year, I watched Power Rangers in space. It blows modern Star Wars out of the water. It's campy, but 100 times a better story than modern Disney slop.
Man, there's so many stories out there that are so much better than Disney Star Wars stories.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. Thank you very much for sending that super chat in, by the way. Just Nova 1138 with a $4.99 super chat. I bet they're going to use the excuse that Jedi were arrogant by this point, which is how Palpatine took over. It's a cop-out still. Yeah, they're always making the Jedi look bad, incompetent, you know, just everything that they do. And I don't like that. George didn't do that in the originals, you know, but you know, they love doing that now. So,
and you know what that does to me? That kind of takes away from like the greatness of the villain. You know, I always like to think of Palpatine as just a really, really, really good villain that just found a way to outsmart a better, you know, a well-oiled Jedi machine. You know, he used the Sith's dark side to kind of cloud their judgment. But I mean, he's just that powerful, you know.
Right.
But if you make the Jedi just incompetent or arrogant or whatever and stuff, then you just kind of take away from, you know, the villain itself. You know,
Absolutely.
you're just kind of making the villain look like, well, the villain wasn't really that great. It's just that the Jedi were bad, you know, or the Jedi were dumb, or the Jedi were, you know, incompetent. You know, it's kind of stupid.
So what they do is, you know, if you take the two extremes on, like, if you had a line graph, if good is all the way to the right and evil is all the way to the left, well, let's make evil a little dumber. So we'll move them over a little.
Right.
And so and what are you doing, DA, is you move both towards the center. You blur the lines of good and evil.
Yep.
That's exactly what they're doing right there.
It's like what they do with, you know, boss girl characters, right? They got to make the men incompetent. You know, they got to make the men stupid. You know, they got to make the men weak because now this woman can beat him up. But it's like, but you make this man weak. That's the only reason is because he's an incompetent moron. And that's how you want to tell your story. See, again, I'm already pissed off. It's just going to make me more pissed off thinking about what they're about to do here, man.
That's why people hated Rey so much.
Yeah.
In the sequels.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
It wasn't because she was a girl.
Oh, notice that he said Rey and not Daisy. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. John Coleman with a $2 super chat. Size matters not. That's what she said. Can you imagine? Thank you, John, for sending that in. Can you imagine what Disney would do with that line?
Oh man, that's awesome.
Size matters not.
Just got a couple of blank ones here, Coach.
Richard L., thank you, sir, for the $2 super chat. We appreciate it, sir. The White Snake. Hey, girl. Becky, I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. She sends in a $10 super chat as well. So, look, thank you guys for sending all those in. Oh, we got a couple more.
Oh, we got these. There's 2 starred things here. One, I think we want to talk about Patreon.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Nick needs to clue us in on how to watch without paying Disney. Yeah, do it.
So, yeah. If you guys want to join our Patreon page, you guys can find it in the links on our homepage. Mods, if you guys can put the link to the Patreon page in chat, that'd be great too. It's literally $5 a month, and we have a crap ton of stuff over there. It's all organized, and what Patreon now has is collections. So it's all organized. We got the Adiwan Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back Revisited, which is a fan-made special edition, which is far superior of a special edition than the George Lucas Star Wars special editions. He's working on Jedi now. We got animated shows, documentaries, audiobooks, tons of stuff over there that we cannot put on YouTube. It's all easily searchable, findable through the collections. I mean, $5 a month, it's well worth the price for that with everything that we put over there for sure. So if you're interested, definitely go check it out.
And we have one here from Sundowners.
Hell, Sundowners Club. House of the Dragon will draw 4 to 5 times the viewership of the Acolyte at a minimum, but we won't know for sure because Disney won't release the ratings. Yeah, so that's where stuff like Samba TV and Nielsen and all that, which are not 100%. This is how many people are actually watching. It just gives you an idea. But it uses the same metric as it uses for any other show or movie or anything. So we won't know that. We'll never know the actual real ratings and stuff, but
believe
we'll kind of have an idea.
Best believe Disney will never tell you how bad this show is doing. They are never, ever going to tell you.
Never know.
If this show is a dumpster fire. They will never tell you this show is a dumpster fire.
Nope.
If that information is going to go to the grave with whoever has that information, they will never tell you how bad this thing is. You know, what they will do is they'll come out and they'll try to use numbers, because that's what Disney does. They'll come out and they'll try to use the numbers to say, oh, look how great the Acolyte is doing. They'll find some crazy little number that they can highlight and point to, but that's not going to tell the full story. That they never tell the full story with their numbers. It's like their budgets. They never tell you the real budget. All right. They always tell you, it cost us $200 million. And then you got to go to the UK tax filings and like, oh, yeah, it was actually $350 million. It's like, well, why didn't you tell us it was 350? Oh, because, it would look bad. So, yeah, they're never going to tell you the real truth. That's just Disney.
And we are going to be covering Tyson stuff. Is that fight? Nice. You're muted, Coach. Is we come up to the fight July 20th. Which he did have an ulcer flare up, but he's completely fine. Everyone's like, oh, does he have medical conditions? He's not going to be able to do the fight. No, it's just an ulcer flare up is all.
All right, let's stay on Star Wars.
and just, Coach, just to break in, I noticed while my eyes were to the left, welcome Midnight's Edge.
Yes,
folks.
welcome
to the
crowd.
Folks.
Shout out. What's up?
Hell to our good friends, Tom and everybody over there at Midnight's Edge. Midnight Edge After Dark.
We ready to continue this?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's keep going.
All right. So here's where the New York Times starts talking about all of us. So this is where, look, we didn't even got to the spicy stuff yet. We've already been cursing, screaming, yelling. We ain't even got to the good stuff yet.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to her story comment either.
So wait till Nick and the DA get here. And I'm just going to, maybe some popcorn, honey. All right, here we go. The first Acolyte trailer, released in March, racked up 51.3 million views in its first 24 hours, a record for any live-action Star Wars, including The Mandalorian.
Be good.
According to Lucasfilm, that is. Sneak peek Acolyte footage released in theaters in early May, highlighting the show's unique martial arts sequences. Fan sites instantly deemed the fighting style force foo. That's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah.
It's all over
but a loud primordial part of the Star Wars fandom has pushed back in predictable fashion. Why are there so many women, girls, and minority characters increasingly dominating the ranks of Jedi? Reads a comment on the Acolyte trailer, with others expressing a similar worldview. Any one of y'all want to jump in there before I continue this?
So
it's a fair question, is it not?
So let me just share this. I don't need to share audio or nothing. So a small part of the fandom, or a loud part of the fandom. Here we are, the first trailer. 194,000 up, 711,000 down. This is not a small or just a loud, Roka and all these Disney shills that are just gobbling up and consuming everything Disney Star Wars they throw at them, are understanding that there's way more people out there that are not liking this stuff than there are liking it. And if it was the other way around, merch would be selling out. Freaking Disney Plus subscribership would be skyrocketing up. It's declining. Merch is not selling. So you cannot sit there and say that's just a loud, small part of the fandom. Like we're just some little rebel incel group in our mom's basement, all talking through styrofoam cups and string, No. 711,000 down.
Well, what's really interesting here, too, is DA talked about this. That word primordial, they're talking about the original fans, the people who have been carrying Star Wars on its back for 4+ decades. That's who they're taking a shot at.
Yeah.
This is the Star Wars we're making, and the original fans don't like it. A loud group of the original fans don't like it, so they need to go away.
Yeah.
And that's what they're saying about all of us and all of the people that you're talking about that downvoted that, Nick. Go ahead, Rissman.
And also the direct answer to Why is the cast of the Acolyte look like they do is because Leslye wrote these roles for these actors and actresses specifically. Every one of them showed up, Amandla, all of them showed up, and they all have the same story. They're like, I showed up to read a part, and I was showed all sorts of concept art, and it already had my face in the concept art. Right? It already had me, the actor, me, the actress, and then of course then even Leslye confirmed, yeah, there wasn't anyone else I wanted to play this role, and she named all the primary roles for this series. So yes, I understand the agenda and I understand how the rest of it works, but for this series specifically, Leslye had already precast all these roles.
Yeah, she knew her whole lesbian diverse group of people she wanted to bring in on this shit show of the project, the Acolyte.
She's been saying it for like the last 2 years. This is exactly what she's doing. I mean, she hasn't hid this from anybody. She says it's going to mimic her lifestyle. It's going to be queer. It's going to be lesbian. She said this. She has said this again and again and again. So yeah, it's not surprising.
Even bigger than that, DA, she was told by the president of Lucasfilm to tell her story.
Yeah. This is what Leslye Headland had in her head this entire time. Yeah. All right. This is exactly what she wanted to do.
So, and speaking,
just be right back, guys. Be right back.
All right.
Just to close the loop, Coach, because I know you'll love this, right? So in this series, Amandla is playing twins, right? One is named May, one is named Asha. Guess who their mother is? The witch lady.
The lesbian witch? Wow.
She is the mother. Now, whether it's biological or whether it's just by Coven or what, but when the press release came out, May's last name is the same as Mother Anissa. It's May Anissa. Right? So either she's just taking that name as a part of the Coven, or they're implying that this mother is their mother.
Did you hear that, DA?
Nah, what happened?
The witch, the lesbian witch, is the mother to the twin girls, played by Amandla Stenberg.
Yeah.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah. So I guess she just took some D for a short period of time to get pregnant.
Some of them do that, you know.
Well, and that's why I don't know if it's adopted mother or
Must
what.
not have been any good.
Yeah.
But there is a relationship there. And that's because when you think about it, why specify in this article any sort, you know what I mean? It's weird, but if you think about it in context now, oh, well, she's their mother. Now we're telling a story, and this is when we'll see in this article where Kathy was like, you wrote a great Star Wars story, now write a good Leslye Headland story. Well, now all of a sudden there's sisters involved and antagonist, and she wrote her life story in this story.
Yeah.
She's been saying this for a while now. This is of no surprise to me. I knew exactly what Leslye Headland was going to push through this thing from day one, because this is what she's been talking about. All right. Her queer lifestyle, her life as a lesbian. This is what we're going to get in the Acolyte. She has said this multiple times.
Yeah.
So, get ready. All right. This is what it is. Yeah.
Well, it's funny how, when it was a white man making their terrible movie back in 2017, The Last Jedi, he was told what to do, pretty much. And he couldn't tell his story, even though there's some confusion there. That's out of his own mouth.
Yeah.
But Leslye Headland was specifically told by Kathleen Kennedy, tell your story.
She was told, Leslye, this is a great Star Wars. You've written a great Star Wars story. I'm like,
and then cry.
And full stop. Shouldn't be no more to the sentence, right? But the rest of the sentences now tell a great Leslye Headland story.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I don't understand that.
Welcome to our brother, all of our brother, the great Mexican Iron Man is in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell,
Mikey.
All
right. Culo Grande. Okay. Anyways.
Oh no.
Here we go. This gets better. Y'all gonna go crazy. Especially those of you who haven't heard this. This is and for those who came in late, we're giving you the actual real article that most people didn't get a chance to read because it's at the New York Times and it's behind a paywall. It goes way more in depth than what Variety gave us. So check this out. It's a version of the same misogyny and racism that greeted Rey, the female Jedi played by Daisy Ridley, who made her debut in The Force Awakens 2015, and that drove Kelly Marie Tran off social media when she appeared in The Last Jedi. Kathleen Kennedy, who runs Lucasfilm, has also experienced it, with South Park harshly attacking her in an episode last year. The cartoon depicted Kennedy giving the same feedback to Star Wars creators over and over: put a chick in it, make her lame and gay. Some trolls have nicknamed Headland's series the Wokelyte.
You can see why Variety pick and chose from what they were going
Oh, yeah.
No way they're putting that. And we still have not one single receipt of anybody going after Kelly Marie Tran for her getting off social media. Not one.
And they also like to bring
still
up
push that out there.
They also like to bring up how the toxic fandom attacked Ahmad Best, Jake Lloyd. Guys, look,
It's
here's the thing. If you're in the public eye, you're going to be attacked by somebody. Yeah. I got attacked today. I got attacked and called multiple crazy things today in comments, and I just laughed. And basically my response now, DA, is I love crazy people. Thank you.
But the funny thing is, Coach, if you get attacked, or if I get attacked, or if Rissman or Nick get attacked, guess what? They are actually attacking, us. They are actually attacking us. Nobody was attacking Daisy Ridley.
That's
because
my point.
Nobody was attacking Daisy Ridley. They're attacking Rey. They're attacking this character in this trash movie that they made. They're attacking.
It's no different with Jake Lloyd and Ahmad Best.
Right. It was all about the characters they were playing. It had nothing to do with them as people. We don't know these people. Okay, I don't know Rey or Daisy Ridley. Yeah. So how can I attack her? I'm talking about now. Like I said, if you come out and you say something stupid, and then you get attacked because you attack the fans, for instance. Like Brie you come
Larson,
out, you attack the fans. Oh, okay, yeah, you attacking the fans now. That's a whole different kettle of fish, because now you're actually attacking the people that pay your salary. So now we're coming after you. But this is a completely different story than, I just don't like Daisy Ridley because she played a character. I don't care.
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. If we're talking Daisy Ridley, a lot of us would attack her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How dare you? She's a nice lady.
Oh no.
Continuing on here, in a brief telephone interview, Kennedy's support for the Acolyte was steadfast. This is after the whole misogynist, racist thing. My belief is that storytelling does need to be representative of all people. That's an easy decision for me.
No, it doesn't.
The only people that Star Wars storytelling needs to represent is Star Wars fans, and that's it. If you can't take care of the fans, if you can't represent what the fans want, it really doesn't matter anything else that you're doing. I don't care how many black people, how many women you put in there, how many, whatever race or skin color or LGBTQ sexual preference, it doesn't matter. If you can't do what Star Wars fans expect out of the franchise, you've lost the fan base. Because this is what you're focused on. You're focused on the wrong things, man. It's like this is what infuriates me. This is kind of why I'm kind of fired up tonight. Because you have George Lucas's baby, all right? George Lucas's baby in your hands, all right? And look, as a young kid coming up, there were two filmmakers that I respected more than anybody, Spielberg and Lucas, all right? Because Raiders of the Lost Ark is still my favorite film of all time. So I respect the hell out of these two guys. All right. And Star Wars was George Lucas's baby. He spent his entire life just nursing and taking care of that thing. And, it was special to him. And I feel like he's handed this to Kathleen Kennedy. It's like handing your child to Kathleen and say, Kathleen, look, that's my kid. I need you to take care of this. I think you need to nourish, support, give it what it needs, give it plenty of milk and warm clothes and a roof over its head and take care of my baby. And Kathleen is just like, here you go, off in the ditch. And she doesn't care because she just cares about her stupid agenda instead of actually caring about Star Wars as a franchise, making sure the franchise is healthy, make sure the franchise is going in the direction that George would have wanted. Like George hands them a treatment of, here's what I would do with 7, 8, and 9. Oh, yeah, thanks for a lot, George. Throws it over their shoulder. They don't even care. Yeah. All right, that kind of stuff pissed me off because it's like, wait, this guy sold the thing to Disney, but he didn't sell it to you for you to destroy it. And it's so poignant that right before the Acolyte comes out, George Lucas drops that interview at Cannes Film Festival as he's getting his Palme d'Or, and he says, these people have no idea what the Force is. These people have no idea what they're doing. All right. That's the thing that I love the fact, people can hate George, whatever. I don't care. I'm glad he said that because that's how I've been feeling. They don't know what they're doing. And they're just running this franchise into the damn ground.
Well,
and they don't care. The only thing that matters is agenda. Agenda. I need to push the agenda. That's the only thing that matters.
The more they do this representation thing, the more they make it our world. The more they make it our world, the less Star Wars it becomes.
Yeah. Real talk.
There's a problem.
Right.
And if the next Star Wars show, let's say George Lucas was coming back and he was like, hey, it's me from 1977. I'm back and I'm going to do a new show. And then he said, but there's this guy named Coach in Alabama. He's a 5'9", chubby-cheeked guy, and I'm gonna cast as many of those kind of people as I can for Coach. I'm out. Don't do that.
Right?
I don't want to see that.
Give me what I've been wanting for the last 40 years. Ever since the original Star Wars came out, I said, I need more of that. Give me more of that. Give me Luke. Give me Han. Give me Leia. Give me the Millennium Falcon. Give me flying off on adventures. Give us good versus evil. Going up against the Empire, give me that. If they just kept it as simple as Jedi, Sith, Rebels, Empire, I would be set. All right? Stop giving me your woke nonsense. Stop giving me LGBTQ and skin color and gender. I don't care about any of that crap. All right? Yeah. That's what the real world, that's what I get all day long in the real world. I get all of that crap all day long from everywhere. Give me what I want with Star Wars, okay? It's that simple. And they can't do it because they're talentless hacks, all right? They're just a bunch of talentless morons that don't understand what Star Wars is, what it means to us, and what George Lucas's vision was. It's mythology for this. It's just mythology. It's really all it is. And you can follow any mythology you want to, but it's just mythology to teach us all, hey, there's bad things out there. There's good people out there. And, hey, look, let's all come together and be good. Let's fight for what's right. Like, these are the things that George Lucas pushed out there, and I just don't understand why these guys can't figure it out, man.
All right, we got to keep rolling on this article.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
Yep, brother, we hadn't even got past the first.
Oh, I know,
yeah,
man.
You haven't even gotten to the whole story.
I'm running the show long. Coach trying to hurry up. I'm sorry, G.
So we're not done with the spicy stuff yet. It gets better. Operating within these giant franchises now with social media and the level of expectation, it's terrifying, says Kennedy. I think Leslye has struggled a little bit with it. I think a lot of the women who step into Star Wars struggle with this a bit more. Because of the fan base being so male-dominated, they sometimes get attacked in ways that can be quite personal. Headland has tried to limit her exposure to the online conversation, both good and bad, instead relying on friends for weather reports. She said, as a fan myself, I know how frustrating some Star Wars storytelling in the past has been. Headland said, declining to cite specific examples. She said, I felt it myself. She followed up with a text message. I stand by my empathy for Star Wars fans, but I want to be clear. Anyone who engages in bigotry, racism, or hate speech, I don't consider a fan. I said this in my video. DA, I'm sure you said it in yours. I don't care who Leslye Headland considers a Star Wars fan. Here's the truth. If I don't like the Acolyte, for whatever reason, they're going to call me those names.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely,
that's
man. They already are. They've pretty much already started calling you that, okay? That's basically what they're saying in this article. They're trying to preemptively get ready. Sorry, Rissman, go ahead, man.
I was just going to say that the thing that's turned me off the most so far is this statement. Because one of the things I firmly believe is nobody has the right to call someone else a non-fan, right? Everyone might be a fan in their own way, but for whatever the reason, nobody has the right to say, you know what, Derek, you're not a fan because you don't think the way I do, or because I don't like your takes, or because any reason. You know what? I consider you. Who the F is she to declare anything about the fandom?
Yeah.
No more able to do that than I am. Right? We all practice our fandom in different ways. And again, I don't support any of the things she mentioned either, right? But it doesn't have any bearing on being able to love a franchise. I don't get it. I don't get that comment. And I hate anyone, candidly, who calls other people non-fans.
Yeah,
I mean, the comment is just to deflect from what we all expect to be garbage. Okay, we all expect that. So they're trying to say, hey, you know what? Let's make sure that we scare these, these commenters away and say, oh, if you guys say this, this, and this about our show, oh, we're going to call you a racist. Like Coach just said, they're going to call you a racist anyway. They're going to call you a bigot anyway. They don't care. All right. And that's just a way to silence you, to keep you quiet so that you don't say anything negative about the show. That's basically what that's all about.
Exactly. If you say anything negative about the Acolyte, it means you are a incel, racist, misogynist, bigot, all those things. And all their little sheep, that's all they say about us anyways.
Yeah.
They have drawn the line down the center. If you are not a fan of what Disney is putting out, then you are the enemy. That is how you were treated. And that's
I guarantee you, Coach, if we're not going to like this thing, it isn't going to be. It isn't going to be because any of these actors or actresses half-assed it. It isn't going to be because they phoned it in, right? It's going to be because the story's crap. Yes. I think it's going to look beautiful for $180 million in practical sets and almost no volume and special effects. I think it's going to look wonderful. But if the story's crap, who cares?
Yeah, you're exactly right. So this is what you were alluding to earlier, Rissman. This is Kathleen Kennedy talking to Leslye Headland. You've written a great Star Wars show, Kennedy told her in 2019 in response to the early scripts. Daisy really still waiting on her scripts, by the way. Now go write a Leslye Headland show. And that's what Leslye Headland did.
Yep.
She inserted all the things about her own personal life.
Yep.
And it wasn't Star Wars stuff. It was dadgum Frozen meets Kill Bill. And I need a writing team that doesn't know anything about Star Wars, and you got to make the setting the very original part of Star Wars so we're not beholden to canon. So we could do whatever we want to do. And we're going to have a bunch of lesbians in this, even though there weren't lesbians in the original trilogy that we saw. And we're going to make this thing look as much like the world today and not a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago. No, it's going to look like somewhere else. There is no escaping your world. There is no escapism anymore. They're not going to let you.
Nope. Look what they did with Willow. Like, deal with it. We're this is what we're doing. Deal with it. And yeah, people are not dealing with it. They're just, all right, I'm down. I'm done. People are just checking out. Good. Check out. We'll laugh at it. Listen, I already said, I'm going to have fun with Star Wars either way. Either I'm going to get some good Star Wars that I can enjoy, or I'm going to get Disney Star Wars and I'm going to enjoy crapping all over it. That's what I'm getting.
I mean,
right?
Could we ever get to a point where there is a vocal amount of Caucasians saying, by God, if I'm not in Black Panther 3, I'm throwing bricks through windows?
I hope not. But no, it's because like the fans of this stuff, like the fans that care, we care about the right things, and these guys don't. So, no, you're not going to get a whole heap of Caucasian males saying, I need to be represented and blah, 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 blah. You're never going to get that, okay? Mm-hmm. But everybody else feels like, well, I'm a victim, and they don't represent me, so I need to speak up for myself, and I need you guys to put me in this show. And I'm like, I've never wanted that crap. And I don't understand people who do. Just give me a good story. I don't care about your skin color. I've never cared about skin color, man. I'm sitting here like really racking my brain ever since I said that at the beginning. What character outside of Cyborg? I really just haven't cared that much about, a character that was black like that. Like, oh, I care about the black characters.
Cyborg, like 1989 Van Damme?
No. The DC Comics.
Oh, yes. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was about to be impressed. I'm like,
Teen
heck
Titans,
yeah.
Teen Titans, Coach. Man, Coach, you got to watch other stuff, man. You just
sorry. I'm old school.
Before we go back to any article, we need to clear some. We got a whole bunch of stuff here. We need to clear.
Yes. Yeah, man.
Rob writes, Gen X pop culture. Hey, Rob. He says, who wins in an all-girl battle between Ripley, Sarah Connor, Red Sonja, and Zula from Conan the Destroyer?
Red Sonja.
I'm gonna say Sarah Connor.
Ooh.
Wait, do we have weapons?
I was gonna say, is Ripley in the mech thing? I
Okay,
might
all
pick Ripley if she's in the mech thing.
So
Yeah, that's a good point.
if it's hand-to-hand weapons, I'm going with Red Sonja.
Red Sonja
Yeah.
was my first choice. Also.
But if they're running around with guns and stuff, I'm going Sarah Connor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Great question, Rob. Let us know what you think. Thank you, brother. Oraxis, $2. So are you guys going to host a viewing party? That is a great question. And I don't know where Nick went, but he is the person to ask that question to. I know we're going, well, the plan was to go live right at the conclusion of watching the show.
Oof.
On, when it first drops. I'm not going to be here, so it's totally up to Nick. So just y'all remind me to ask Nick what the plan is for that night.
I do think, Coach, the answer about a watch party, right, where we have a live stream going while the things playing in the background and all that. The answer to that, here's Nick. The answer to that's a no.
Yeah. So we are going to got a freaking work page. So Coach will be out of town this first week on the first 2 episode drop, but me and Derek will be here. Rissman, are you going to be here?
I will be here, yes.
Okay. So it'll be me, Derek, and Rissman for sure. We might have a 4th. No clue yet. I might try to get somebody on. It might just be us 3. But we are going to, more than likely, we'll probably stream it on Discord. So channel members will have access to that. And then it will immediately be uploaded to Patreon. And then we'll go live and discuss it probably right after the show's over with.
And it's a 9 o'clock Eastern drop, so it's not not terribly late. 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
And 2 episodes, so it'll be like an hour, and then our review, which we won't even we'll do our review during the live stream. So literally we're just gonna do the watch along, which will be streamed on Discord and then uploaded to Patreon immediately. Then we'll go live and we'll do our review and talk about it and that sort of thing.
That'll be good. I like that. That's a good idea. I'll make you a very generic Acolyte review thumbnail,
All right,
that you could use. So good. Great question. Thank you for sending that in, Oraxis. CS with $10 super chat just clicked on recommended video. The Acolyte DEI includes a lesbian character who leads a witch coven. What is going on? It's the truth.
And you should have amended it with, and has 2 twin daughters.
Yep.
Oh no,
yeah,
I can't.
the lesbian witch
I can't say twins, sorry.
has twin daughters. Amanda Stenberg, her character, there's twins of her, and her mother is a lesbian witch in the show.
And they're non-binary, by the way. They're not.
Andy.
Hell,
Acolyte
Andy
toys.
messages. Which, speaking of, Andy, Rob, myself, and Gary Ambrosia from Doomcock Stream will all be at Fan Expo in Dallas next weekend. So if you guys are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we will be there. So just stay tuned to the community tab here. I'll let you guys know where we'll be hanging out, all that good stuff. So if you guys are in the area, we'll be there next weekend.
Now, all right.
And
keep it rolling.
John Riley just asked for clarification. No, they're not Night Sisters. This is a different
different witch.
kind of witch. Whether again they're the good witch, the gray witch, but they're not Night Sisters.
It's a Filoni's wife kind of witch.
No, that's more like
They love them witches.
Like a Night Sister.
Yeah.
That's more like a Night Sister.
They love them witches. Darth Maul's lower half with €5. Hell, EBN, a few weeks ago you asked about the best lightsaber fights. I'm for Maul versus Pre Vizsla. Force wielder versus non-force wielder.
And then here's the second one.
It shows why the Mandalorians were such excellent fighters against the Jedi. The end of the battle knows no restraint with Pre Vizsla losing his head. Yeah, that was a great fight. That was a great fight.
Yeah. I think when we were talking just live action.
We were.
A lot of that stuff I haven't seen a lot of that stuff in the animated stuff. So
yep, there's some good ones though. There's some really good ones for sure. So, thank you, Darth Maul's lower half, for sending that in, brother. We appreciate that. John Coleman with $5. Just as we disrobed and dismembered their Barbies when we were 8, They are taking our Jedi, putting lipstick on them, and making them. Yeah. So true.
It's taking a long time for them to get back at it.
Tell the truth. Raise your hand if you ever removed a Barbie shirt and rubbed her chest with your thumb. Okay.
I had 2 sisters.
DA, you never touched Barbie.
I don't have sisters. I
had
have
2 sisters.
You know, it's all boys in my family.
It was a little girl across the road from me. Like she had.
There was
Barbies
only
in her
one
body.
little girl in our neighborhood. It was like a boys' neighborhood. Like everybody that was around us was all boys growing up.
Today, DA, someone would make people change houses to get a better representation in that neighborhood. There's only one girl in that neighborhood. Everyone would have to move today.
Yeah, right.
So, guys, I just look. Variety reported on the article that we just went through, and I didn't read the whole thing, but we got all the juicy parts. The end of it was just kind of dragged on. But this headline here for Variety. Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy says a lot of women in Star Wars struggle with fan attacks because the fan base being so male-dominated. That's taking a shot at males.
Yeah.
Just
Men
because
are bad.
they're males.
Yeah.
Well, I think a guy wrote that article. Isn't that Zach? This Zach, though.
Well, you never know today. I mean, it is 2024.
Yeah.
Go ahead and check it. It's probably she, her, and his damn.
How dare you
pronouns in his
assume?
bio.
Yeah, don't assume his pronouns, Rissman.
Yeah, man, you knows what it is. But I mean, yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like, wait, what are you trying to say? Like a franchise that has a male-dominated base can't enjoy female characters? The only way you can enjoy female characters is I don't understand what they're trying to get at with that. That's kind of a load of crap to me, man.
Yeah, nobody was complaining about Ripley or Sarah Connor or even Red Sonja. Just talking about a lot of classic female characters, Princess Leia, back in the 80s, 90s, Padme. Nobody was complaining about any of that stuff at all. So that argument is so dumb to me.
Well,
I don't even know why they even still bring it up.
Even funnier or more ironically, right? One of the things George just recently said, he was going over a criticism, right, from his talking points about Alien, but he touched on there's no women in it. What do you mean there's no women in it? All the heroes in my stories were women. Princess Leia, Amidala. He's like, no women. The women were telling the men were lost without the women. He was like, he's like, I just don't understand, and basically
there wasn't enough of them. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm. I mean, his undertone was, I wrote great female-centric stories before it was in fashion, and guess what? It worked because the story was good.
Yes. It's exactly right.
They don't understand why nobody likes Rey. I think that's what it is. The people, they just like, why doesn't anyone like Rey? You guys should love Rey. Rey is a great character in their heads. And they don't understand. No, Rey is actually a Mary Sue girl boss, and she's trash. Her character, everything comes to her so easily. She constantly has to show up all the male characters because that's her story. That's her story. That's what they don't understand why we don't love Rey. And so the only reason that it is that we could possibly just don't love Rey is because we're men, and men are bad, and men are, toxic, and we just hate women. Like, that's the only thing they can understand, instead of saying, no, actually Rey is a terrible character, and here's why, and then when you try to explain it to them, it goes right over their head. It's like they don't get it.
But DA, she's heterosexual. What's wrong with Rey?
Well, and also generally speaking, men love women. That's kind of how it works, right? A man loves.
Well, that's how it used to be.
The basics of how all of this works, right?
Lando had a crush on the Falcon, so
I don't get it.
Right? Exactly.
Men just hate women. I was like, huh? Doesn't even make biological sense.
Yeah.
Hey, what was the name of the Jedi? God dang. The droid in Ahsoka that was with the Jedi Order. Hu Yang.
Hu Yang.
Mm-hmm. I was waiting on Hu Yang and Ahsoka to get down. I really was.
Oh no. He's too.
It would fit with the current state of things.
Yeah.
It
wouldn't be surprising.
He's way too old to ride an Ahsoka, Coach. Way too
I
old.
don't know.
Wait, he's been around.
Well, I'm telling you, if I was a droid, okay.
Hu Yang could probably be in
Anyways.
this series. I bet you Hu Yang pops up making lightsabers before it's over.
Yeah, we'll get R2 and 3PO too.
Oh
we-
my
The
gosh.
3PO will be like, oh, he was rebuilt
Guys,
by Anakin.
Can you
in
just
the prequels.
imagine the kind of cringe we could possibly get in this series?
You
I try
wait.
not to.
Just
We get
just
plenty of cringe from them already. I don't need to imagine it any worse than that.
so
man.
so there.
Go ahead.
You wait. There was I watched an interview today and they were talking about the one character Manny Jacinto plays is like he's a shop owner. He's a scoundrel shop owner type, but the art department's at it again. Apparently his shop is full of Easter eggs that may or may not belong in the series. And I do think one of them is a 3PO head.
Mhm.
Wow.
But
So-
you know what? You know what? I was just thinking about this. Like the fact that you're bashing men and you're saying that men don't like women, and or you know the reason that this is such a problem is because the fan base is all guys. It's more of this like divisive talk of, you know, we got to divide everybody up. We got to create, you know, this enemy over here. It's the men. The men don't like us. The men hate all of these women in Star Wars, which is absolutely untrue. But it's just more divisive talk that always seems to come out of these cats. They just want to divide people instead of bringing people together. So they try to pit the men versus the women. Oh, the men are the bad guys in this situation. All of these male toxic, you know, Star Wars fans, toxic in quotations, because there's nothing toxic about us, but all of these men are the problem. And it's this divisive nonsense that we always see from these cats over there. They don't want to bring people together. They want to divide people. Star Wars should be about bringing people together. Star Wars should be about, hey, you know what? I hope that, you know, don't even talk about men, because there's plenty of women that don't like this nonsense either. Okay. There's plenty of women fans, female fans of Star Wars that are like, this is garbage. All right. A few of them watching right now. There's a lot of women that do not like Star Wars the way it is. It has nothing to do with the men. You know, again, it's just Star Wars fans ain't rocking with this. It's
I got a message today. I got a message today from somebody who is on the other end of this whole thing, a Star Wars content creator, a writer. He published an article today, and he sent me a message after watching my video about all of this stuff that we've been talking about. Everything that we've said here tonight for the past hour and a half, I basically said in my 7-minute, 50-second long video where I covered it and reacted to it. And to me, it seems like Disney is in crisis mode. They know that they are in serious trouble. This show is not looking good. They're already playing the blame game before the first episode drops. They're blaming men in the toxic fandom publicly, like out in the open. Well, so here's the message that I got. And I think, and here's the thing too. I genuinely like this man. We disagree on most Star Wars topics.
He's an idiot.
Stop it, Nick. Don't do that, man.
I think he is.
Well, but
that's just my opinion.
But you don't, dude. So, anyways, you know what? I don't even want to. Never mind.
No. Now you set it up, Coach.
Forget it. No,
come on, Coach.
I don't even want to. No, that's. I'm not even gonna do it. It's okay. We'll just keep rolling.
I agree.
Anyways.
Shields can't be trusted.
Well, yeah, it's just an interesting conversation when you look at it from the other perspective. That's what I was gonna show and talk about. All right, so George Lucas. That's what's next. Unless we want to watch these clips.
We should watch because Dave Filoni makes an appearance. We should watch the Dave Filoni one. It's the Conversations one.
Oh my God!
And that'll lead right into the George Lucas thing, because George Lucas is specifically mentioned in that first one. It's the 2-minute. It's the shorter.
Can one of you guys pull it up?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be good.
I can do that.
I'll be right back.
I was sitting here looking at so while Coach was talking, I was sitting here looking at Star Wars opening reactions in 1977. There was men, women, all race and color, you know, going back to the DA's point of how Star Wars should bring people together, not divide people. And then you have these other weirdos out there on the other side who attack us when we're given valid criticisms,
Right.
and seeing things our way. But then at the same time, we're not sitting there attacking them for liking it. We've always consistently said, look, if you like it, that's cool. I mean, I don't understand it or get it, but
Right.
you know, if you like it, you like it, you know, but we don't get the same respect back from these shills of these people on the other side.
Well, again, it goes back to the fact that if there's an agenda to push, if you're pushing an agenda and your agenda means that you have to demonize one side, you have to divide people, then you need to constantly demonize them. You got to divide the people. You got to tell everybody, these guys over here are racist, they're bigots, they're this, they're that. You got to constantly be pushing that out there because your goal is the message, and there's no other way to get your, I guess, your point across except to demonize the other side. You can't win on the merits of your own values and your own opinions. You can't win the argument on that because most people ain't rocking with their values and their opinions. So what you got to do is say, well, these guys are even worse because they're bigots and they're racist and they hate women and they're this and they're this and this. That's the only way that they can win the argument, because their points and their values and everything that they stand for, we just, hey man, this ain't for me. This ain't for me. They cannot win on the merits alone. They have to demonize people. So that's the reason why they do that crap, because that's the only thing they got. That's the only card that they can play. You know, that's really what it comes down to. And that's what's frustrating, because it's just divisive, you know?
The SSW network, Nick says respect after he calls someone an idiot. Yeah. When we don't get respect as fans for not liking stuff and seeing stuff, yeah, I'm going to call you out as an idiot. The people that do respect our thoughts and opinions and we give that same respect back, I don't call an idiot. But there's idiots out there in the world.
Real talk.
That's the world we live in. You know,
call them out.
You know, and I'm not going to sit here and not call people out for not showing us the same respect we give other fans. So yeah.
There's plenty of people that I disagree with, but we respect one another.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We have a disagreement.
Yeah, a girl who I've not hung out or seen in several years. I hung out with this last weekend. Huge liberal Democrat, Biden supporter. We are not see eye to eye on politics, but we're really close, good friends. We hung out. We have a good time hanging out together. We just don't talk about that stuff, you know, because we know that we're not going to be in agreement, but we're still good friends, and that's the way it should be. But you know, if people are going to start attacking us and calling us all these obes and dumb names, and how we're not real fans, and we're attacking people because they're female or a different color or some dumb crap like that, yeah, I'm going to call them out as idiots, 100%. You know, if you want to actually have a conversation and show the same respect back, then yeah, I'll do the same thing.
That's funny. All right, we're in a good mood for this. Should we roll this thing? Because again,
let's watch it.
All right, here we go. Let me know if the audio comes through.
Two directors talk about Star Wars.
That sounds good.
That does sound good. Let's do it.
Really good.
Tell me about the Acolyte.
I'm sorry, just you asking me that question.
So I'm just going to pause it a couple times just to make sure. I don't know if the music in the background. So this to me is a very awkward conversation. But just listen.
It's just making me cry.
Is it? That's all right.
Yeah.
It is a big deal to a lot of people. It affects people in different ways, and this is your story. So
What I was interested in examining were the Sith, the master apprentice.
So and I've said this a number of times, and I think both you guys would agree with me. I like the story concept of this show, examining the Sith, telling a story from maybe a Sith perspective, you know, a long time ago, and diving more into the Sith. Sounds interesting. Sign me up, you know,
right?
But not with these people that created it in their forced agenda, political crap, you know.
And I just extended. I like the Acolyte concept, right? And this whole notion of the Sith always fighting to sort of be on top, and who's going to be the two, and who's not, and how does all that dynamic work together? I find that very interesting.
Yeah. In the hands of good writers, this could have been amazing. All right.
Yeah.
But when you get Leslye Headland, who says, "Oh, I'm about to make this about my queer journey and my journey as a queer woman," like, all right, well,
yeah,
that's
and then you got all the diversity, lesbian, gay, people of color, races, pretty much everything except for the white man, because the white man's bad, and it's just comical. It is so comical.
Dynamic. If the apprentice is craving the master's power, then at some point he must recruit his apprentice to overthrow the master. Yes. And that is the Acolyte.
Right.
Who trained you? You don't wake up thinking you're evil or that you're the bad guy, as explored by George's Anakin.
Yeah, I don't think Anakin ever thinks he becomes evil.
I agree, and I think a lot of the characters.
Anakin doesn't become evil?
No, he says he says that he believes that Anakin never thinks of himself as evil.
Oh, okay. All right. I was about to say, did I just read that? Because I'm trying to read the subtitles.
Yeah. No, he said they're saying, oh well, everyone's perspective on themselves. Although I would posit that some people believe they're evil and act in very evil ways, right? So I'm not sure I buy into this whole, from a certain point of view. I mean, we know when we're not doing nice things, right?
Yeah, because in the prequels, Anakin is like, I think the Jedi are evil. And Obi-Wan's like, what? Then you are lost.
Well, and that's exactly what they're planning. That's the whole way. And I believe Anakin didn't ever believe he was evil. I'm like, well, kind of became a Sith.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
I mean,
at what point is he like, this is good? Killing all these people, this is good,
While he's murdering younglings. I'm not evil. I'm not evil at all. I'm a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, there is a morality that's built into our DNA, a basic morality, to where if you're doing those kind of things, you're like, this isn't good, Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Characters in the Acolyte have to convince themselves that they are
doing the right thing.
They're doing the right thing.
This is the Clone Wars.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ahsoka was such an interesting character to me.
When we started, we had it.
So you realize they're riffing on the actors on actors, right? So she got to. He didn't really ask her anything, right? But he got to ask her about the Acolyte, and here's his way of stuffing Ahsoka. Some way, some shape or form, Filoni's going to get Ahsoka in the series, even if it's just this interview. So now we're having an Ahsoka moment, right? We're having an Ahsoka moment here.
Very much a shell shock moment for her that she was out of her depth. And I'll never forget it. George watching it and saying, you guys are taking this a bit too seriously. He went on to explain that, even at a young age, she's not out of her depth for any of this.
I had a similar experience with the character Jackie. There was a note from somebody that was, wouldn't she be scared on her first mission? And I remember you telling me about that story.
Jedi training has to be valuable. It prepares them for the galaxy.
Do or do not.
Do or do not, there's no try.
So now we got to bring, now Yoda makes an appearance in this.
Yep.
And George is coming in just a second, right? Here's Yoda. Here's all the Yoda we're gonna get, right here.
If you're trying, you're not actually doing it.
I had to do that with Acolyte for sure. My agreement with myself was whenever it overwhelms you that you're doing your dream, you just have to do it. Honestly, the times that
By the way, this little thing in her hand is the droid. This is the droid that Asha carries around. The droid's name is Pip, P-I-P. This little thing is.
I wonder how many of those toys are going to sell out.
0.
None.
About as many as the Lolas that sold out for,
for
Kenobi.
felt the most.
There it is. It's like a do anything, fix it. It's go gadget Pip, right? Apparently,
the Star Wars droid tricorder.
Yeah, it does look like a tricorder, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Worried was not the special effects, the fighting choreography. It was the emotional stuff.
We can tell it wasn't the fighting choreography from the trailers.
Well, and it's interesting because everyone, when they, again, these interviews I've been watching, All of the actors or actresses are like, the most grueling part of this was all the lightsaber training and the choreography and making sure we got it all right and all of this stuff. You know, it's one of those things where either it's really true, or they've just all been given that soundbite to sort of reinforce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Understood about filmmaking, understood about iconography are things we still try to tap into.
It's the Western. It's the samurai film. It has to feel elevated, but it also has to feel like Star Wars. Basically, what George created, it's the North Star.
What are you?
And so it's the North Star, right? That's what you said there at the end.
They ain't following it at all, though. They ain't even close. It's not guiding them anywhere. It's just they've gone. George said it himself. I got George's words that says they have lost everything. These people are lost. They don't know what they're doing. You know, they don't understand the Force. George just came out and said all of this stuff. So if that's their North Star, right? If the North Star is George Lucas, and George Lucas is coming out and saying, you guys are off the beaten path, all right? You need to fix your compass and try to figure out how to get back on track. If George is saying that, then you should be like, okay, wait a minute, time out, all right? George just told us we're not doing this thing right. Where did we go wrong? That's what I would do, all right? If I was somebody in the position of Star Wars and saying, wow, we've absolutely not done what George Lucas was doing. We're completely away from this. How do we get this back on track? You know, and start asking some real questions, and maybe, you know, saying, hey, I messed it up. I got it wrong. Okay, I admit it. You know, that would take real leadership. And that's what Kathleen Kennedy can't give. She is not a leader, and she has absolutely destroyed this whole thing. This whole little interview, whatever, man, it's just nonsense. It's just nonsense. It's garbage, man. I can't even get excited about anything Star Wars now. Because
you're not excited to review the show?
Oh, I'm excited to review the show. I'm talking about like just being excited for Star Wars itself. I'm excited to dunk on it. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. I can't wait till Tuesday.
Didn't that conversation feel very forced?
Of course.
Do you think there's a chance that conversation would not have happened and aired if that article had not come out?
Next to none. Now, and it's hard to tell because Filoni only wears that jacket now, the Ahsoka jacket, and only wears the hat. But it felt very forced, and it felt very
witches don't change clothes; they wear the same crap all the time.
I don't know.
Hey guys, I gotta bounce. I got work stuff I gotta take care of, and some calls I gotta make, and I got some packing to do and some cleaning I gotta do before I head out later tonight. But I will be back tomorrow, EBN cast, 2:00 Central Time. So you guys tune in then.
All right. We'll see you then.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, bro.
Bye. And Coach, I was going to go back to these star things. We still have quite a few.
Yeah, y'all got a lot packed up in there.
What happened there? He got a little.
Nick froze up. Oh, there you go.
Actually, John Graber, we had starred for John Graber. He was just saying what I think you were saying, Derek. And we know John's well, maybe some wouldn't call him a fan, right? But we know John's a pretty big fan. First time he's not excited or interested in a show. I didn't even know there's that many toys to pre-order, tell you the truth. But
are there any Acolyte toys?
I haven't seen any.
I know Hasbro Pulse mentioned figures, and I think just because they probably had them in a warehouse for forever now because the series wasn't coming out.
Okay, yeah, they got some action figures. I see them here. Man, nobody.
Hey, Belnick into comics. Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Graber's going through what so many of us have gone through. John hung in there with Disney Star Wars for a long time.
He sure did.
You know,
think about that, man. You got guys that got a whole room full of action figures, a whole bookshelf full of books and everything, and they're saying, man, these are the fans that we don't want anymore. It's like, think about that. Just think about that for a minute.
I mean, you're right. Imagine having 3 bookcases full of the expanded universe.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they say none of that stuff counts. And then you're like, I thought I had, like you felt like a Grand Maester of Star Wars.
Right. Yeah.
And now
like you were the guy people came to that, hey man, what happened in such and such, what happened in this story? You're the guy, right? That everybody came to for their Star Wars knowledge and lore, and they want to know what's happening and everything. You're the guy. And now all of they say, all that stuff is irrelevant. None of that stuff matters anymore. Throw it all away. Burn it up. All right. And by the way, you're a toxic male, and we don't want you to watch it because you're a racist and a bigot. On top of that, on top of that, you're all of that stuff too. Like, geez, man, can you just destroy a fan base any faster than what Kathleen Kennedy has done with Star? I can't imagine. It's like they did it in record time. Like somebody bet them they couldn't do it. It's like, yo, you can't destroy the Star Wars fan base in less than a decade. Like, watch us work. All right, watch us work.
Hold my blue milk. Here you go.
Hold my blue milk. Exactly. And they just came out and they've ripped the fans. They've made shows that nobody cares about and nobody's want. They launched this High Republic series that absolutely nobody cares about. I don't know one person that has a High Republic book or talks about the High Republic series. Nobody, maybe except, a couple of cats on YouTube. That's it. And they just bought it just to see what it was. Like, all right, let me buy it. I got a couple. And then I was like, oh, this is whatever. I don't care about this story in this universe. Everything that they've done has just gone one direction, down. And it's just like, man, I can't believe you guys did that to George Lucas's vision. It's insulting.
Well, listen, according to this next super chat, I can ask KK all about it. Wouldn't be. I saw Mike was here, and I knew it wouldn't be a stream without him kicking at me at least for a second. Right? Hail to the official live stream for Star Wars bigots. I'm here for the black pills and to ask Darth Simpus when his side piece KK will retire. And the answer to that is after Indiana Jones 5 comes out. She's for sure. She's out of here. Sure out of here. Out of here. Just got to wait for Indiana Jones 5. That's going to be her. It's going to be her swan song. You watch.
Oh my gosh, she's never going to die. I don't want her to die. By the way, let me throw that out there. Make sure.
You know what? It's like what we were saying earlier, Coach. Like, you know what? Like Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know her personally. I don't know anything about her. Okay. Before all of this stuff, whatever, she could be the nicest person in the world. You meet her, she'll bake you a plate of cookies and say, hey, come on in, have a seat. She could have been the nicest person in the whole wide world. Okay. But
Rissman, your camera.
Oh, it didn't like that drink.
We seeing what's going on behind closed doors, man. Yeah, that's the thing. On? Kathleen could have been there we go. Much better. Kathleen could have been like a nice, cool person, but when you start coming out against the fans and you start ripping the fans on top of the fact that you're making garbage, it's like, okay, you've lost everything. All right. I don't really care what happens. Like I said, I hope she gets fired. I want her to get fired and frog marched out the door. That's what I want to happen. But I know that's not going to happen. Yeah. She's going to retire. She's going to get a nice, healthy bonus on her way out the door. She'll do it on her terms. But, again, it's like you said, I don't want anything bad to happen to Kathleen. The only thing I want is for her to be fired. Just fire her.
And there's nothing wrong with that. She's deserving of not having that job.
Yes.
She's not going to be homeless. They're wealthy. Her husband has tons of money. She has tons of money.
Right.
We're not wishing death upon her puppy or anything. She just don't need that job. She just don't need that job. That's it.
And I think when she leaves, I don't think they will replace that position. I think they'll collapse Lucasfilm. I fired from a can. Oh Lord. I personally think they'll collapse Lucasfilm under some other place, right? They'll let Dave Filoni run around as the creative boss. I wouldn't be surprised.
The same Dave Filoni that George Lucas just said nobody knows about the Force in Star Wars but me.
Nobody. Yep.
Well, he's the North Star.
And the Shills love to say he's the closest thing we have to George. No, he ain't. There is nothing close to George. There is no closest to George Lucas. Not the original trilogy, George Lucas.
Not even close. Yep.
So no, and he let everybody know. 80 years old. The only person that could run it is me.
Pretty much.
So I don't know.
Yep.
Crazy.
Let's keep rolling here. John.
Q agenda. Chicks scissoring. Take my money.
John's ready.
Boy.
John's ready for all the right reasons. Let's keep on going. Thanks, John.
Right.
Careful what you
Honestly,
wish for.
most of us attack the writers more than the characters or actors.
Yeah.
Very true. That was the
Ryan
problem.
Johnson.
That was the problem with the Ahsoka show. Was the writing? It was the storytelling. Now Rosario Dawson had the personality of this desk I'm sitting at right here.
She ran fast though, Coach.
Man, she's running in slow-mo. She need to hit that Jedi
Coach,
boost.
but don't that go to Filoni as the director? So you're supposed to get that out of the actor. Hey, man, I need you to act a little different on this one. Rosario, you a better actress than this. What's going on? I need you to take it up to another level. That's on Filoni to get that out of his actors. Okay? That's not on the actors or just, hey, I put this performance. Is
to direct.
Good? Yeah. He's supposed to direct these people and tell them, hey, I need a little bit more out of you, Rosario. It's not enough. And then she gives it, is that good? No, a little bit more.
What did they hate on George Lucas or make fun of him for saying with everything he directed? Faster, more intense.
Yeah.
Faster, more intense.
Not only that, but I think Dave had other directors there too, right? So they failed direction catastrophically on that series, right? Everyone looked at that and said, well done. Oh my God, cut and take. It doesn't get any better than this. I'm like, what is going on? Oh my God.
Yep. All right. Let's see. The Sundowners Club. Kennedy has been quiet for over a year. Why do you think she chose to speak now to New York Times? Because this show is about to bomb and they're already doing their damage control. And you just wait. You just wait. We're going to hear it all over the place. They're going to be blaming the bigot, racist, misogynist when this show bombs, when it's not doing well. They're gonna. It's our.
Well, first thing they're
fault.
gonna do, Coach. First
and
thing
I'm
they're
not
gonna do
any
is
of those things.
First thing they're gonna do is give us the phony numbers. They're gonna tell us it's doing great. Oh, look how many people watched Ahsoka on its opening day. They're gonna give us all of the fake numbers. Samba TV. I haven't seen Samba TV doing a lot lately. I don't know what's going on. Huh? Did they get to him? I'm wondering, man. Did somebody get to Samba and say, "Hey, no more Disney Plus stuff"? That I don't think they came out with any numbers for like. Did they come out with Echo numbers? I don't recall.
The issue with Samba was it was always so hokey to me, right? You had to subscribe to it, and only certain TVs had it, and then sometimes tablets worked, and sometimes they did. I just don't think they had a good model for personally.
Possibly. Yeah, but they still give numbers for other things. They're still giving numbers for other shows. It's just no Disney stuff. They just haven't been reporting it. And I'm like, why is that? And I'm starting to wonder if Disney got to them and said, hey, you guys don't report any numbers on us no more. All right. Stop reporting numbers on. I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, carry on.
Oh.
Yep. Very, very good. Keep rolling. Venger, £5. Anyone going to get any packets of Star Wars Oreos? Light side has blue whatever. It is a dark side is obviously red. I am not.
So this is so interesting to me. You all know about these Oreos? So there's packs of Oreos, and it's true. There's a light side, and it's got blue Kyber filling, and the dark side has red Kyber filling. But the thing about these Oreos is you don't know what you got until you open the package. Now, whose bright idea was it? Right? You enter a grocery store, you see all of these new Oreos in there. You're there with your family. And your kids say, I want the red ones. Have these people never shopped in a grocery store? How many of these packages are going to get opened on these shelves until people find the red? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Unless they don't put them in stores and they only somehow get mailed to you. But
yeah, it's weird for sure.
It's a thing.
So let's see. Matt, Rissman, help me.
I think Guillemette.
Guillemette. I like it. Matt Guillemette. $2. Why shouldn't pigs drive? They hog the road. Matt, I needed that. Thank you.
Well done. Well done, Matt.
I think that came through at a particularly spicy part of our dialogue, and I had to chuckle when that's a dad joke. That's a dad joke.
Veritech 2000. I grew up in South America, not even speaking English. I grew up loving Luke, Han, and Wedge. Sorry, Leia. I never cared that they weren't brown for F's sake. Totally agree with you.
Yep.
Michael Jordan is my favorite athlete of all time. It's not because he's black.
It's because he's a great athlete.
It's because he's my favorite of all time.
He's the greatest. One of the greatest.
Why do I need to look at skin color?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with it? I loved Larry Bird, but he ain't Michael Jordan. Mike Tyson's my favorite fighter. Mike Tyson's fighting Jake Paul. Guess who I'm for? Not the dude that looks like me.
Gosh,
like, what's wrong with us?
How could anyone root? Well, I'm sure I don't want to declare fandom, but how could you not root for Tyson? Gracious sakes.
Coach is woke. Coach is woke. Chuck Man posted a picture of some dude, said that he looked like me in Facebook. Oh my gosh, dude.
No.
Oh my gosh. If people were like, I see it. And I was sitting there looking at him and I was like, oh gosh, does that cat really, is that what I look like? I showed my wife and she goes, that's not you. She knew immediately. And I was like, thank the Lord. Anyways.
And Coach, this one started, I don't know if Rob's still here, but he was trying to ask, I think, did you want to, if he located a Power Master Optimus Prime, did you
Rob, no, you don't have to do that, Rob. I would love a Power Master Optimus Prime to put in that case right there. That's near and dear to my heart. That's the one that I got in 1988. Relearning how to walk after an accident. Yeah, I fell off a roof when I was 8 years old and had to relearn how to walk. But yeah, my mother said, "What toy do you want? We'll get you any toy you want." And my uncle went to Toys R Us, and they brought me. That's what I wanted: a Power Master Optimus Prime. So very, very cool. Very, very cool. But Rob, don't do that. Thank you, though. Thank you for the thought. That means more than anything.
Thanks for hanging with us tonight, Rob. I see you're there still in the chat.
Absolutely. Lou Capadonna, member for 13 months. The Acolyte could be Citizen Kane and will flop. Star Wars is dead. After the pandering to women, destruction of canon and OG heroes, and the complete hatred of the fan base, F the She-Man Male Haters Club. That's where we are. That's where and I'm sitting here going, dadgum, why did we start a Star Wars channel again? We had no idea this was going to happen.
Who would have known, Coach? Who would have known?
We had no idea. And our heart's not in it to cover Star Wars news and like be an ambulance chaser for Star Wars only. But that's our channel has been a Star Wars channel this whole time. We are branching out and sprinkling other stuff in, but I guess it is what it is. People are here for Star Wars news.
Listen, we still have Skeleton Crew. There's always Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? Because it's true. Well, Andor too, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. But Skeleton, we still have Skeleton Crew to look forward to between now and then.
Oh my gosh. It gets no better.
That's what it's come to.
Yep. Thank you, Lou, for sending that in, man. Venger with £5. Did you see the photo of X? Did you see the photo on Twitter of Dave Filoni with Star Wars Explained, Kyle Katarn, and some other fan? All I could do was roll in my eyes. So I don't know what Star Wars Explained looked like. I do know what that Kyle Katarn guy looks like. Not a fan in any way. He blocked us on Twitter like forever ago just because of, and he was real like pithy about it. He was like back and forth with me, and he would block me and I wouldn't be able to reply. And then he would unblock me and say something else and then block me again. It's like, I'm going to say what I want to say to you, but you can't say anything to me. He's a terrible person. He's just a terrible little man. So, and I would love to, and I'm not saying like I'm going to fight you, or that's ridiculous, but I would love to have an eye to eye at like a convention sometime and just I'd love to measure somebody like that up, and then we could take it wherever you want to take it, I guess. But
Well, I did see some of these folks. A very small number of them did get invited to a private screening of a couple episodes. Then they got a tour of Lucasfilm. That's when Filoni showed up. But the funniest thing about, I think I sent it to you, Coach, they got swag, right? Of course, they got swag, and they were given the opportunity to shop in the Lucasfilm company store.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did they get free swag, but a bunch of them bought more Lucasfilm jackets and hats. And I was like, I would have taken the swag and run. I ain't gonna spend no more money there. How many Lucasfilm hats do you need?
Right. Seriously. Mr. Skills, DA, that's a given. He's got my back.
All day.
Yeah.
All day long.
I don't have to ask. I know he's got me.
Absolutely not.
I know he's got me.
I'm right there by your side.
I don't know if Lou might have sent this twice or we might have missed one. But Lou, if you sent this twice, thanks for twice. But I'm pretty sure we didn't read that.
Yeah. Well, guys, we didn't get through. I mean, we had so much, but that was such a good conversation. And the best part is, I know the Acolyte is not looking like it's going to be something the majority of us are going to enjoy. But we're going to enjoy talking about it together because there's going to be a lot of laughs. There's going to be massive laughs. We're just going to laugh and laugh and laugh at all of the hilarity that ensues from this, because I think this is going to be the Vespa Bike Gang on steroids. This is going to be crazy. This is going to be crazy.
My gosh.
So whoever predicted we'd be getting a lesbian witch of Coven of Witches in Star Wars, and it's here, and we're going to be able to see it in 5 days. Just wait. And I guarantee you the most cringe aspects of it, we don't even know yet. It's coming.
And I'm just going to say, Coach, by the way, the actress who plays that witch, she's also in Tron Ares. I love her. She is a wonderful actress. Beautiful lady. And I was, and because they asked her about an interview, she's like, I had so much fun with Tron Ares. She said, I can't wait for people to see it. She said it was a really, really great shoot.
That's Jodie Turner, whatever, is that her?
Jodie Turner Smith, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never about the actresses. It's never about the actors. It's never about them. It's about the characters, the story, the directing, the writing, the overall. That's the problem. So yeah, it'll never be about them. I don't blame the actors, but when the actors start mouthing off and start attacking the fans, okay, now we got a different thing to talk about. It's not about you.
They riled us up now. DA. Past 3 days, that's all they've been doing is poking us.
Yeah.
The problem's all you men. The problem's all these racist men, these bigots.
Yep.
All of these things. So and you want us to watch your show? You attacked the original fans, the primordial fans who've been there from the beginning. Us?
Without us, there is no Star Wars. Okay? Star Wars is a show, as a movie that came out in 1977. It is not what this is. They don't have Star Wars to make if it's not for us. We the ones that kept it alive for the last 40 plus years.
The thing about the use of the word primordial, and I know then we have to let it go, right? I don't even think when you think about the primordial ooze, right? That started all life. So basically, in a roundabout way, by choosing that word, what they said was, well, the people who created this fandom, right?
Yeah.
The people who are fan patient zeros are the ones that aren't happy with this. And I'm thinking to myself, this is strange on so many different levels to use that. Get out of thesaurus, pick a different word. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't get it. Don't get it.
Yep. Same here.
All right. Well, guys, hey, great show.
Yep.
We didn't get through all the stuff, but we got to the stuff that everybody wanted to talk about. We didn't get to the Lucas stuff, but I don't think that stuff been, hammered into the ground by now. But guys, next week we'll be here. We'll be watching the Acolyte. We'll review it. We'll go live. We'll have pop-ins. We'll let you guys come on and give your thoughts, and we'll experience this whole thing together. Derek, tell everybody where they can get you.
Yeah, check me out on Derek Anderson, the DA. My channel just went over 13,000 subs. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the love and the support, especially from the EBN family. You guys are family. So I really thank you for supporting me this far. We'll be on the DA's office every Saturday at the old EBN time, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So check me out, me and Uncle T going over all of this stuff and more. So looking forward to having a nice conversation with T about some of this stuff. But yeah, check me out, Derek Anderson, the DA. If you haven't already subscribed, I appreciate all new subscribers. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And Luke Capadonna with a $2 super chat. Lucasfilm is Coven of Witches writer credits. Oh, yeah.
Well said.
That is what Leslye Headland put together for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for being here. As we always say here, we are your Echo-based network. May the Force be with you. The George Lucas original trilogy Force, maybe some prequel trilogy.
Yeah, the real
stuff
Force.
Too. The real Force. Yeah, exactly. So, guys, we'll see you next week. Later.
Bye now.
Coach and Nick from Echo-based Network, thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo-based TV, where community happens.